The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Close your eyes and pull like a dog.
And a new Irish record for Phil Healy, 22.99.
Christy Cooney hands over the Sam Maguire Cup to Graham Canty, Cork All-Ireland champions for the 7th time ever.
Hello and welcome to the Star Sport podcast. My name is Dylan Mangan of the Southern Star and I'm joined today, as always, by Star Sport editor Kieran McCarthy. Before we get into things, I'd just like to give our listeners a gentle reminder to please rate, review and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify and YouTube. The Star Sport podcast is brought to you in association with our friends at Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, where your bank really does matter. Choose credit union, choose local, choose community. Now this weekend we'll see Clonakilty GAA club's Ahamilla complex play host to a Munster LGFA Championship clash for the first time ever as Cork face Waterford on Sunday, May 14th at 2 p.m. We're going to hear from the Clonakilty Ladies GAA chairperson Yvonne Ryan in a little while about how hosting the game came about and the historic nature of the occasion. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit first about what has been a controversial topic in the Irish sporting world over recent days, and that is GAA Go. Now, Kieran, you were away on holidays last week, so you're back to a little bit of a storm in the GAA world. For those listening who aren't aware, could you maybe give us a little update on where things are?
Update on my holiday? How I got on in Portugal, or update?
Well, I'm sure people would be interested in your holiday, so maybe start with that.
Well, this time last week I was sipping a Superbock in the new town in Albufeira. Fast forward 1 week and I'm talking GAA Go on the podcast, and I tell you where I'd rather be, but you can't rewind time, Dylan. You can't rewind time, but the GAA Go, this controversy or saga or whatever word you want to call it, it's really exploded the last couple of days. So what it is there's games, there's GAA games, championship games gone behind a paywall, which is GAA Go. So you have the free to air games at RTE, which they have 31 games to show over the two codes across the 4 provinces all the way through to the end of the championship. So of those 31 games, 16 of those are already assigned because they're provincial finals, All-Ireland quarterfinals, semis and finals. So then there's 15 games where RTE can show across the 2 codes. So they pick which games to show then. Then you have GAA Go, which will show 38 championship games, but GAA Go is behind the paywall, so you have to pay a subscription to watch those games. Some people availed of the early bird deal, I think, which was months ago, so that works out at €1.50 a game, which seems like great value. But if you wanted to pay for one-off game, it's €12. So it's basically that kind of paywall model that we've seen so many sports do in recent times. But I think what's bothering people, and rightly annoying people here, is while RTE show their games, RTE are also in bed with the GAA Go because they're 50% shareholders in GAA Go along with the GAA. So RTE have their fingers in 2 pies here. So that is causing controversy, because what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, and especially in the Munster Hurling Championship, some of the big Munster Hurling games have been behind that paywall. They haven't been on the free-to-air RTE. Instead, they're on GAA Go. So fans who don't go to the game now have to pay to access a game that's behind the paywall. Okay, you could say Sky Sports was always a paywall of sorts in recent years because it is a subscription service as well. But that's because the GAA had a TV deal or a rights deal with Sky. But this new venture, well, GAA goes on the go for years, pardon the pun, but this year now with no Sky Sports, the GAA decided to go with the 2 avenues. You have free-to-air games on RTE, and then you have the other games on GAA Go, which is that joint venture by the GAA and RTE. So fans, especially hurling fans at the moment, they're rightly miffed about missing out on some crunch hurling games in the last couple of weeks. But this will turn too, I think, in the next few weeks, because in the first weekend of the Sam Maguire Cup, from what I've seen, there's some huge games on GAAGO there. You've Kerry, Mayo, and is it Tyrone and Galway will be behind a paywall that weekend, and they are games that surely they should be on RT free to watch, because not only for fans of those counties but for neutrals. I'm sure neutrals would love to watch the Mayo Kerry game and Galway and Tyrone as well. So it's a bit of a pickle that the GAA got themselves in for. I'm sure they're hoping it's going to blow over like years ago when there was when they signed up with Sky Sports first and people weren't happy about that. But I'm not too sure. I think people are voicing their anger.
Yeah, to play maybe devil's advocate, just briefly, like defenders, or if there are defenders of GAAGO out there at the moment, maybe not that many, but they would say previously you had whatever number of games on RT every weekend, some on TG Cahir, but the rest of the games weren't available anywhere. And now GAAGO, while you do have to pay for it, does give people the option. Let's say if there's a game that isn't maybe billed as high as some other ones on that weekend, if you're a fan of Cork and they're not on RT, you still get to watch the game. So that is, I guess, a positive for people.
It is, like, there's more games now across RT and GAAGO being shown live than there ever was before, which is a positive. But one of the issues here is this thought that GAAGO are cherry picking some really, really juicy hurling games and football games coming up to put behind the paywall to use as bait to draw people in to subscribe to GAAGO and hook them into that subscription service. Then, like I said, some of the big hurling games that have gone behind there, the football games coming up. There's an opinion out there, because the GAA being our national game, and with people paying license fees for RTE, and then to find out that RT and GAA are in this GAAGO venture together, why are those prime games being put behind a paywall? Why can't those games be shown on RTE, whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday? So that's why I can see why people are rightly annoyed with that, because even though the GAA and RTE will say, no, that's not the case, that we can't show every game. And of course they can't show every game. There's so many games at the moment. But why are they putting some of those really, really juicy games behind that paywall? Like, to the cynic in me, it does look like they're putting those games there because they know fans will pay to watch those games. And all of a sudden then you're into that subscription service and you're going to subscribe for whether it's a game or for the season and so on, and that's more money for the parties involved. So it's easy to see why people are rightly frustrated at the moment. And it took, I think, Donalogue's rant, for want of a better word, but it was a rant that touched a lot of people, because he spoke so much truth. That was on the Sunday game last weekend, that really ignited this conversation. And we've seen this week now, we've seen politicians get involved. We've seen Virgin Media come up with their statement saying that they didn't have a chance, or they weren't in the running to take the rights.
They said there, when Sky Television decided not to renew its GAA rights, the GAA did not approach other broadcasters to ascertain whether they would be interested in broadcasting these games, but arbitrarily decided to put them behind a paywall. RT have since rejected that, said that Virgin was afforded the chance to bid on broadcast rights from the outset, but failed to table an offer. So it's a lot of he said, she said out there. And I guess one thing maybe that is difficult to manage from RT's side of things is the fact that they have an obligation as a national broadcaster to broadcast not only GAA but all the other sports. Yeah. And it's something that, if you listen to League of Ireland fans, they have long been going on about the fact that League of Ireland doesn't get a fair chance on RTE. So when Virgin do point out that there's too much sport to show on RTE, they are kind of right in a sense. Like, you can't, unfortunately, unless they bring out an RTE Sport TV channel, there's too many fixture clashes. You can't show everything.
Yeah. And RTE do show a lot of rugby as well, between the rugby, the soccer and the GAA. But I just think it's the optics. It's the fact that GAAGO is this 50% joint venture between RTE and the GAA that just has muddied the waters a bit because of those prime games being put behind the paywall. Is it going to change? Not this season. Will the parties involved learn lessons going into the future years, future seasons? Maybe, but this could just all blow over. This could be a storm right now, and in a couple of weeks' time, people are moving towards the business end of the various championships, which will be on free to air. Maybe what went on these weeks will be forgotten. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's played out. But it's certainly been, like you said there, he said, she said, it's been messy the last couple of days with the various TV stations, the GAA coming out with their statements, so many pundits and analysts coming out with their feelings. When you see politicians weighing in as well, we know why the politicians are weighing in, because they're trying to kind of win over their various voters. So it's just going to be interesting. It's a sag and a controversy that the GAA could have done without, because it is kind of shrouding the championships at the moment. Most of the stories this week are about GAAGO, not about the big games coming up this weekend. The narrative will change towards the weekend when you have obviously the Ulster Leinster football finals and big games in both codes in every province. But for now, fans just have to decide: am I going to pay that €12 to watch Mayo Kerry on the first weekend of the Sam Maguire? Am I going to pay to watch Galway and Tyrone? That's a choice that fans have to make. But I just feel it's unfair that those prime games are not on RT and they're not free to air, because they basically should be. Yeah,
and a game you mentioned there, the Leinster Championship, that will people in Cork will be keeping a close eye on that, because obviously the loser of that will go into Cork's group for the Sam Maguire this summer, and it was confirmed last weekend that Kerry will be joining Cork, Mayo and one of Dublin or Louth. You weren't here last week, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on the group draw from a Cork perspective.
Tough. It's tough. Like you can't wash over it. Cork could have got an easier draw here, but they didn't. The football gods haven't been kind to the Rebels. So with Kerry's big win against Clare in the Munster final last weekend, that confirmed Kerry in Group 1. We knew that Mayo were there along with Cork, and also it'll be the loser of the Leinster final between Dublin and Louth on Sunday. And it's worth pointing out that in Division 2 of the league this year, both Dublin and Louth beat Cork. So Cork are going to be one of the outsiders in this Group 1. What helps is that 3 teams will progress. So 3 out of the 4 teams will progress. The top team goes through to quarterfinal and they get home advantage, while the second and third place teams go through to preliminary quarterfinal. So effectively, Cork need to win probably one game to give them a chance of progressing. The first game up will be away to either Dublin or Louth, and that'll be tough. Even if it's away to Louth, Cork last there in the league, like I said, only a couple of weeks back. And
Cork's away form as well, it can be a bit patchy, can't it?
It can, yeah. Mickey Hart is Louth going well, so that'll be a tough opener for Cork. But it's also probably the best opener that Cork could wish for. I'm just basing this on the fact that I think Dublin are going to beat Louth in the Leinster final, so I think it will be Cork away to Louth in that opening weekend, and that's probably the best opener for Cork, because it's one of the more winnable games in this group. Because after that game, then Cork have a home game against Kerry in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and that's the June bank holiday weekend, so it's either down for the 3rd or the 4th. It looks like it will be Saturday the 3rd, because the Cork City Marathon is on the 4th, so I can't see 2 big events in the city on the one day. And Cork Kerry up in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, while of course it'll be a great occasion. And go back a couple of years ago, in their last championship meeting in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, Cork beat Kerry in the 2020 Munster semi-final, Mark Keane with that late goal. But you would have to think, you know that Kerry would be big favourites going into that game. They're All-Ireland champions, and they started to show against Clare that they're starting to find a bit of form and starting to stretch their legs. And then after that, it's Cork and Mayo in a neutral ground. I think it's the weekend of the 17th and 18th. So if you're Cork, you don't want to be going into that game off the back of 2 defeats, looking for a result against a pretty good Mayo team as well. So, like I said, the football gods haven't been kind. But on the other hand, if Cork want to climb that ladder and they want to mix it with the big boys, and if Cork want to eventually get up to Division 1 and reach the levels of the Mayos, the Kerrys, the Galways, the Tyrones, they need to compete against these good teams, and they need to start getting results against these good teams too. So it's going to be a great chance to see where Cork are in comparison to Kerry, the best team in the country, to Mayo, one of the top teams in the country over the last couple of years, and against a pretty handy Louth team as well. So the draw could have been kinder. But Cork just have to knuckle down now and get on with it.
Yeah, time will tell, and we'll obviously find out this weekend whether it is Dublin or Louth in that draw.
And any Louth fans who listen to this podcast who are annoyed at me, you can get on to me next Sunday evening on Twitter or Monday if you do manage to overturn the Dubs, which won't happen.
That's sport@southernstar.ie for anyone who does want to get in touch. Just very quickly before we take a break, Newcestown's Jane Buckley was recently named Athlete of the Year for a female student athlete from an individual sport at Providence College in the US. And we wanted to take this opportunity just to highlight how well she's been performing across the water. Kieran, US college athletics is as high a standard as you can get, really.
Huge.
It's huge, and she's performing brilliantly over there.
She had an incredible first year, her freshman year at Providence College. Jane only moved over to the US, it was mid-August last year. She got a scholarship with the college, and pardon the pun here, but she hit the ground running. I was going to go through quickly some of her big results from her first year with Providence College. At the end of last year, she won the women's 6K in the Big East Cross Country Championship, and this was a huge result for a number of reasons. She became the first Friar freshman, and a Friar is someone from Providence College, to win this race, and only the second freshman in conference history to actually win this race in the Big East. And I remember at the time reading, Dylan, that the previous freshman winner was back in 1982, which was well before Jane was even born.
Yeah.
So that was an incredible achievement in itself. Just recently as well, she was part of the college's 4x1500 metre team that won gold in the Champions of America division at the prestigious Penn State Relays. She also she came third in the NCAA Northeast Regional to lead the Friars team to a first place finish here, and she also finished 49th at the NCAA Cross Country Championships, and that was the highest place for a Friar since 2015. She won the 3,000 metres at the Friar Invitational and set a personal and facility record, and so she really has made it. She's turned heads in the States, like you can't say it any other way. So Jane, a Newcestown athlete, she started her journey with Bandon Athletic Club, then she moved on to Leavale. She earned her scholarship to Providence College. Even go back to the end of last year, December 2022, where she finished 5th in the under-20 women's race at the European Cross Country Championships, which was a huge improvement on the year before. She was only 18 seconds off the winner at the European Championships in Turin in December too. So she's a young athlete, and she's moving forward in her career pretty quickly. So huge congrats to Jane to win this award, the college's Female Athlete of the Year for Individual Sports Award, in just her first year there. I think it's a sign of bigger and better things to come, in keeping West Cork athletics on the sports pages at the start.
Yeah, exactly. Long may it continue. Now we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be hearing from Yvonne Ryan about this weekend's big game in Clonakilty.
The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Now, Cork must overcome Waterford in Clonakilty this weekend to secure a Munster LGFA Now, Cork must overcome Waterford in Clonakilty this weekend to secure a place in the Munster LGFA Championship final, following a terrific comeback against Kerry last weekend. They scored 2-4 without reply in the dying embers of the game. And you've been speaking, Kieran, to Yvonne Ryan about Clonakilty's Ahamilla complex hosting the game this weekend.
Yeah, huge occasion for Clonakilty GAA Club, huge occasion for West Cork GAA in general. So this is the first ever Munster LGFA Senior Championship game on West Cork soil. 2 p.m. throw-in in Clonakilty on Sunday for Cork take on Waterford. Like you said, Dylan, there's a lot on the line. Cork need a win to get through to the Munster final. So it's a game with a carrot on offer for both teams, because this is a pretty good Waterford team making the long trip down as well. But just the occasion for a second, to have an inter-county game here in West Cork is brilliant, and hopefully there will be a big crowd in Ahamilla on Sunday to watch this. First off, to support the Cork team because they need support against a good Waterford team. But second off, just to highlight the huge fan base, the GAA fan base that we have here in West Cork, and especially when it comes to ladies football over the last couple of years. You only have to rewind back to just only a couple of years ago now, since the now defunct West Cork team won the County Senior Football Championship. And we've seen so many West Cork clubs on the rise in the last couple of years. You look at the likes of Castlehaven and Clonakilty and Kinsale. They're all up in the senior ranks. You've Donnies, you've O'Donovan Ross, Tyke McCormick, Bandon. They've all done, Ivan Ladies, they've all done great things in the last couple of years. So ladies football is thriving in West Cork at the moment. It's really strong. And even on Tuesday night, Clonakilty won the under 21B Cork LGFA final. They beat Kinsale there. I think Aisling Maloney got 2 goals in that game. So again, it was a West Cork ladies football team doing well at county level. So now we have a big ladies football game right here in West Cork in Ahamilla, which is a superb setting for this game. Anyone who's never been to Ahamilla, shame on you first, shame on you. But Sunday is a great chance to pop along and just see the fantastic facilities that Clonakilty GAA club have, and then to take in a top class game as well with the best footballers in the county, because it's a Cork team that's building under Shane Ronayne. The Cork ladies haven't won an All-Ireland since 2016. They've come close in a couple of years since, but there's some really good players, and we have some local stars there as well. The likes of Jules Star Libby Coppinger from St. Cullum's, the likes of Melissa Duggan, and an all-star from Donnies. You've Laura O'Mahony just over the road in Skibbereen, and they're just some of the West Cork players that are on the Cork panel at the moment. So just hoping it's going to be a huge success. I really do. Once the weather gods play ball, and you'll hear from Yvonne Ryan in a second now, but Clonakilty are so excited about this game. They're going to put out all the stops to make sure they put on a superb show, and no doubt they will. And hopefully Cork will get the result to complement what's sure to be a fantastic day. Delighted now to be joined on the podcast by Clon Ladies GAA chairperson Yvonne Ryan to chat about a huge weekend for the club, hosting Cork and Waterford in the Munster Ladies Senior Football Championship this Sunday. So talk to me first, Yvonne. When did the club first hear that this was actually potentially in the offing?
Well, I suppose it was a few weeks ago. Miriam Forbes rang me and asked me would we be interested in hosting it. Now, as a club and ourselves, obviously we had no hesitation whatsoever. So I approached Dennis O'Sullivan, the chairperson of Clon GAA, straight away, and again, straight away, no hesitation. Thought this was a fantastic opportunity. It's actually a historic occasion because we've never held anything of this magnitude or importance in Ahamilla. We've held Munster Sevens there before. We've had the Cork Senior Ladies training, but we've never had an inter-county match. So the minute I brought it to their attention, they said absolutely. There was just no hesitation.
This is a huge honour for Clonakilty, because we all know here at West Cork, Ahamilla, it's almost a crown jewel of club ground, such a fantastic facility. And this is the opportunity to showcase it to a wider audience.
Oh, absolutely. We have fantastic facilities, and obviously as a club and as a GAA, we're very proud. I suppose maybe sometimes it's not often used enough, but when we get the opportunity, we're obviously going to take it. So we're just delighted to showcase Clonakilty, Ahamilla, everything, West Cork as what it's known for.
Oh, it's brilliant. And talk to me, so Yvonne, about the logistics involved in staging a match like this. What's it been like the last couple of weeks?
It's been quite busy now. There's been lots of phone calls, lots of work going on behind the scenes, but we've a great community spirit, and between the GAA, obviously I attended their main meeting Monday night, but there's a lot of work. So between all of us, we have a schedule. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So from even cleaning the complex to sorting it out to we were trying to get somebody maybe to sing our national anthem, which we have secured. So Isabel Moore, the Carberry and Munster score girl, is actually going to sing the national anthem. So she's extremely honoured. We're actually having under 8s doing a little exhibition at halftime. So the 5 clubs that have representatives on the senior panel have all been asked to bring a little panel of their under 8 girls, and then we being the host. So we're going to have a little go games with 6 clubs playing at half time. Obviously, we're going to put on our club shop. There's going to be food. It's the logistics of a meeting room, the dressing rooms, the cleaning of the complex, car parking, stewards. There's just a lot to be done, but that's all in hand.
But like you said there, this is a club effort. It's a community effort. Everyone's pulling together.
Absolutely, and there'll be no stone left unturned. No stone. We all have a schedule going out Friday evening, Saturday evening. We want to obviously, so much so that they've decided to close the main pitch for the week in preparation for this now, because they want to showcase Ahamilla at its best.
Because, like I said, like the facilities at Clonakilty GAAGO are second to none, and they compare with the best clubs in the country. So hopefully, touch wood, all going well on Sunday. It can actually open the door to further opportunities for the club going forward.
Well, hopefully if this is successful, and hopefully it'll be a memorable occasion, that you would know that hopefully we might be approached again, and if it runs well. But I hope it will. We have lots of help on board, lots of stewards. We've been on to Munster Council. The timing that they're arriving, the girls that are arriving, what they need. So hopefully now we'll have everything in hand, and all will go well. All we want now is the weather on Sunday. Hopefully the sun will shine on us.
Hopefully the weather gods will play ball. But as well, it's so important that this match is here in West Cork, because over the last number of years, ladies football in West Cork is taken off. It's incredible the success the local teams have had. And just while I have you, congrats on the Clon under 21 ladies. Tuesday night had a brilliant win against in the county final, and obviously our West Cork players on the team, Melissa Duggan, and taking straight away the likes of Libby Coppinger and so on. So to have that,
there's 5 girls now, I think, on the panel. They're saying we've the Kylies, we've Kate Redmond from Kinsale, Melissa Duggan, Laura Manny, Melissa, and Libby. So that's why those clubs have been invited to bring their little girls. So I think it's great for the West Cork representatives to be in their local division, playing in Ahamilla. And so many girls at underage. Our club is growing. We've over 300 members now in our ladies football alone. So just for the girls, they look up to these girls. They're inspired by them. So even speaking to Munster Council yesterday, they're expecting a huge crowd and a lot of young girls and families to come out and support, the ladies at the weekend.
Just on Clon Ladies GAA for a second, like you said, there are almost 300 players registered. Have you seen that huge upsurge in recent years?
Yes, it's absolutely growing. And I think, this is a great opportunity to promote ladies football, especially in West Cork. We see our numbers growing each year. We have so much so, we have 312 teams entered in the league, 214, 216, minor. In West Cork, we'll have our junior and adult. As I said, we had under 21 last night, which we won, which is fabulous. And then so much so, because it's growing, we've quite a few girls, gone through the years onto inter-county panels, and we have 3 girls on our minor panel this year. So, it's great.
And it's great for those players to see the Cork footballers at the senior level play in Clon on Sunday, and it's at 2 p.m. throw-in on Sunday. So what's the advice to fans? Get there early?
I suppose get there early. Now we're have a system in place with our parking. We're probably going to open the new field next door for parking. I think the plan at the moment is obviously players and management will all be arriving early. They'll come in, they'll be parked at the back of the complex because they'll be last out. So we'll have a whole system in place. But yes, get there early. There'll be plenty of car parking stewards. If we have to open another field, we will. But as I said, we'll fill the complex first and then go into the field next door. But yeah, 2 o'clock throw in. Obviously, Cork and Waterford are hoping to arrive around 12. But I suppose supporters will be coming from whatever, 1:30 onwards, maybe just to see a bit of the warm up, see how they do, and then 2 o'clock.
How much are you looking forward to Sunday, Yvonne?
Oh, it's fantastic. Like it's a great honour and a privilege as chairperson, like to be hosting this. There's a great buzz around. It's fantastic. And as I said, if we can promote ladies football in West Cork and hopefully further afield and showcase the facilities we have, well then what's not to like about it? Like, it's great.
No, it's brilliant. It's a huge honour for Clonakilty, and like you said earlier, hopefully we get the weather, and hopefully we'll get the Cork win as well, Yvonne. And
well, that's the other thing, as you say, because it's a must win for both teams. So it's a very big game on Sunday for them to progress. So hopefully the support will be there.
That's it, because there is a lot on the line. Like it's a game Cork need to win if they want to get through. Keep going in Munster, and it's a good Waterford team as well. So not only when you add everything in, it's all ingredients to be just a wonderful, wonderful occasion on Sunday.
Exactly. Hopefully it will be a good game and it'll be an exciting game. And as you say, hopefully we'll come out on the right side of it.
So I wish you and everyone involved the very best of luck on Sunday, Yvonne, and no doubt it's going to be a huge success.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity.
The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Now, welcome back to the Star Sport podcast. And now it's the time of the week where we go through this week's Southern Star Sport. Kieran, can you give people an idea of what's in the paper?
This week has a bit of everything, from Clonakilty in greyhound racing to the first harness racing event of the year that was on the weekend just gone, to soccer. A lot going on into the West Cork soccer scene at the moment. The West Cork Academy under-15 team are through to the National Trophy final. They had a superb win the weekend just gone, and they're playing the final in Kilkenny this weekend, so the best of luck to them. While the West Cork under-14 Academy team won all 4 games at a cup competition in Clare last weekend. While the West Cork League is also progressing at pace. At the top and bottom of the Premier Division, we have a report from Castletown Celtics 3-2 win against Clonakilty, which has kept them alive in their effort to stave off relegation. And they'll find out this weekend, depending on Skibbereen against Dunmanway Town, how many teams are involved in the relegation playoff. While at the opposite end, Drina Rangers just need 1 point from their final league game of the season against Bunratty on Sunday to be crowned league champions again. So all that is in Thursday's Southern Star. Of course, there's loads of GA. We have 2 pages on the county leagues alone, including reports of Clonakilty's latest win in Division 2 that sees them top the table, while Castlehaven came up short against Nemo Rangers, while we also have a comprehensive roundup of the other West Cork teams involved, and also a lovely picture of the new Carberry Rangers away jersey. And it was the stylish Rangers. They won their 2nd game in a row in the league last weekend. They beat Valley Rovers. So maybe this new good-looking jersey, I like the look of it. We'll have to see Thursday start to see what it actually looks like. Maybe it's a lucky omen for Seamus Hayes' men. Also have a report from Goleen and Wintervara in the open round of the County Junior B Football Championship. A nice local derby there where Goleen took the bragging rights, but we also have a roundup of the rest of the action from that championship as well. Obviously, the Cork Hurlers had a dramatic comeback to draw against Tip. We've reaction to that. Hawley O'Sullivan's column this week is asking, will we see Cork innovation for their next football game when they're out in the Sam Maguire Cup? He just goes through various teams, how football has evolved over the last couple of years and how some teams and managers have innovated football. So he's asking, will we see something different from Cork in a few weeks' time to surprise our opponents and keep them on their toes? We'll just have to wait and see. So we've that and a lot more. It really is a packed Southern Star on Thursday. And we also have a big spread on the Clonakilty Hockey Club. Had huge success in the Maybank holiday weekend. They captured 2 cups, Division 3 and Division 6 at Munster level. So there's that and a lot more. So there really is something for everyone in Thursday Star.
Packed as always. And in the main section of the paper, we also reveal the May monthly winner for the New Look 2023 West Cork Farming Awards. There's also a personal finance feature featuring tips on how to save money during the cost of living crisis. Those come from Sinead Ryan of News Talk fame. So something there for everyone everywhere as well. And as always, if you're further afield or can't make it to the shops, you can subscribe to the Southern Star e-paper and get the Southern Star on your laptop, tablet or phone. Just go to subscribe.southernstar.ie, enter your details and you'll get an exact replica of the newspaper for less than €2 per week. So that's a great deal with all the content that's in there this week and every week. As always, thanks for listening to the Star Sport podcast, and thanks again to our sponsors at Access Credit Union. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to rate, review and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll be back with you next week.